Do you believe in God?
Me?
Creator?
Yeah, so the more I look at the universe, just the less convinced I am that there is something benevolent going on. And I look at disasters that afflict Earth and life on Earth. Volcanoes, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, disease, pestilence, congenital birth defects. You look at this list of ways that life is made miserable on Earth by natural causes. And I just ask, how do you deal with that? So philosophers rose up and said, if there is a God, God is either not all-powerful or not all good. And this is why religions are called faiths, collectively, because you believe something in the absence of evidence. That's what it is. That's why it's called faith. So I remain unconvinced. But if you've got some good evidence, bring it, bring it, bring it.
Mr. Tyson here rejects the existence of his creator, simply due to the fact that bad things happen in the world. This is a rather pathetic argument, but maybe he hasn't read the Quran, in which this matter is made clear.
أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون.
If this life was not a test, we wouldn't have summer and winter. We wouldn't have the challenges that we face. But because this life is indeed a test, as we as Muslims believe, Allah says, we will test you with everything, all sorts. And for this reason, within ourselves, you have days when your health begins to fail. If your faith in the Almighty remains intact or becomes stronger upon a test and a challenge, you have now passed that particular test. And as a whole, if you were to become closer to the Almighty as the days pass, because you understand the nature of the creation, and primarily the fact that the Creator who has created the creation is who we owe our existence to, you have actually then succeeded.
But if you've got some good evidence, bring it, bring it, bring it.
The other point he made was that the believers in God believe without any evidence.
And this is why religions are called faiths, collectively, because you believe something in the absence of evidence. That's what it is.
This is also completely false, as there is evidence for the Creator everywhere we look in His creation.
All the information they need to function is encoded within the seed, and there are hormones that control the upper and lateral growth of the plant, as well as the growth toward the roots, all of which is encoded within the seed. You eat the delicious fruit and throw the dry and tasteless pit away. This way, you are compelled by a controller who governs the whole universe, allowing that fruit to pass its genes all over the earth, giving you the savory taste while hiding the genes in the core of a smooth, dry pit that is not attractive to you. Once the seeds stick to the ground, it starts quietly transforming into branches and roots, and this is how the mother succeeds in passing her genes on to its children. All of this takes place in a plant that has no cognition. So, who adjusted the information for those deaf-mute fruits? And who adjusted the amount of sugar so it would appeal to your palate? Who made the seed unappealing so you could dispense with it and throw it away? Who loaded the seed with sufficient genetic information to create a new plant with all its details and functions?
If the sun was any closer or further away, it would have catastrophic implications, and all of creation, as you know it, would cease to exist. How could everything in the universe be positioned so perfectly for life without a creator? Only a fool, without reasoning or understanding, would believe that this world came into existence from nothing. It is God who created the balance to allow us to live and breathe on this earth. Yet the ungrateful reject His blessings and walk on the earth with arrogance and pride, believing that their ancestors were animals which they evolved from. That is their faith, and this is ours.
First, there is not one single evidence proving a major evolutionary development. By evolutionary development, we mean the transition of one species into another form of species. Scientists have never been able to verify or spot a single evidence on a transition from species to another, and all of these are just mere speculations. So, how can an atheist choose to believe in a speculative evidence and deny our religion-based solid evidence? According to the minimum gene set concept, no living organism, no matter how primary, can go below 200 genes. Nature magazine stated in their issue dated 6 January 2006 that we could never go below the border of 397 genes. Energy production alone requires at least 6 genes, and if one single gene is missing, the cell will not be able to provide any energy. Likewise, each and every basic function requires a minimum number of genes. Scientists have found that mycoplasma is the most accurate living organism on Earth. It has 468 genes, and each one of these genes contains complex proteins that could be within the range of 1,000 to 10,000 amino acids. Hence, if you have 3 billion specialized pieces of information, these pieces of information are embedded inside the nucleus of each of your cells to produce precise vital functions, or even 11,000 pieces of information, then you are facing a giant treasure of specialized information that has suddenly materialized. Atheists fantasize that there were beings that emerged from a count of 0 genes, but the theory of minimum gene set came to thwart this fantasy. Obviously, all living organisms have emerged so functionally complex from the very first moment.
But if you've got some good evidence, bring it, bring it, bring it.
أولم يروا كيف يبدئ الله الخلق ثم يعيده إن ذلك على الله يسير قل سيروا في الأرض فانظروا كيف بدأ الخلق ثم الله ينشئ النشأة الآخرة إن الله على كل شيء قدير يعذب من يشاء ويرحم من يشاء وإليه تقلبون وما أنتم بمعجزين في الأرض ولا في السماء وما لكم من دون الله من ولي ولا نصير والذين كفروا بآيات الله ولقائه أولئك يئسوا من رحمتي وأولئك لهم عذاب أليم